Thank you. I will be casting with Asher later on tonight in WTL, in World Team League. But here we go. We have our fresh upper semifinals. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Polish Protoss player. He is red, representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran representing Mystery Gaming. It is Oriana. Catching up in the chat. New build order activated. I haven't seen anything quite like that, I'll be honest. Like, I have seen like charge, again, I mentioned it earlier, but Hero is quite fond of charge Oracle all-ins in PvZ, but this was done a little bit differently, right? It's like it was a little bit more delayed. There was a little bit more longevity behind it as well. It wasn't fully all in because, you know, we could fall back on a fourth base and higher tech as well. So an interesting variation out of Middle VK. Interesting. Terrifying is what I should say. Catching with the chat. Nicarac versus Silky would be a good series. It would be a good series. Would be. I mean, they're in the ace match right now, so alas, we won't be able to catch the entirety of that. We'll have to catch the winner against Middle VK instead. We will see how that unfolds. For the time being, though, we're getting into our openers. Oriana going for a double gas opener here in his own main base. Krystianer is going to be able to confirm that as well with that probe scout. Does get out with his probe as well. Does keep it alive and is going to be looking to avoid the initial Reaper, if there was a Reaper, or even Marine. As we can see, Oriana did skip the SCV scout, is going to be avoiding the Reaper scout as well as he goes for a Marine first, and is just a little bit more focused on his own build opener here instead. Going to be going for his, I imagine, 1-1-1. I'm curious to see what this is going to be for. If we kind of get into... it's too far away to go for an add-on swap here, right? So we shouldn't be seeing, you know, mass Hellion. Maybe we can get into a Mind Drop even? A Mind Drop with Marines? We have seen Oriana do that in the past. Meanwhile, Krystianer is going to be going for a Stargate opener. As to be expected. Quite a popular opener, especially amongst the European meta. Meanwhile, no, never mind. We don't have Widow Mine production out of that factory. We're going straight into a tech lab instead. Oh, is this for a Banshee opener? Or, sorry, for a tank drop. There we go. Yeah. Tank is on the way. Medevac will be coming up behind this as well. We are going to be going for a very fast, very early tank drop. Very aggressive here from Oriana. Essentially a one base all in at this point because there is no natural in sight. And how will this fare against Phoenixes? So there aren't going to be that many Phoenixes. They can, of course, CC the tank. They can lift it up, but ideally there are going to be plenty of Marines there to protect said tank and keep it safe and sound from said Phoenixes. Yes, we do have a second tank on the way as well. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Who needs a natural? Nah, mate. We're fine, Papi. We're fine. First, Phoenix is zooming across the map to try to get some scanning information. The Marines are in position, but no, the drop does get scattered. Marines have been spotted. So, I'm really curious because the Marines have at least confirmed the Stargate opener. They are aware of the Phoenix, and the Phoenix already takes a lot of hits. It's going to be very important for the push. The tanks are being banked up back at home, and here we go. The boys are being pulled. Liberator is on the way behind this as well. Oriana is just sending everything across the map. And what do we have at home to defend? We have an exposed robo. The first Immortal is on the way. It's not done yet. We have a shield battery that will finish up in time. We're going to have an overcharge as well. We actually don't have enough energy for it. We're going to need more time. We will need more time, and that robo is so exposed. Can the Immortal finish in time? I think it will. Oh god, it's so close. The tanks will siege. The Immortal will finish. Bunker is on the way. The pylon will go down. We do depower that robo, but alas, it was too little too late. Marines focus down one of the Phoenixes. And even with that Immortal, it looks like there's just too much Terran. Every single Phoenix goes down. There's one Stalker and one Immortal remaining. Void Ray is on the way. The tanks are leapfrogging forward. The overcharge is actually going to be keeping the tank alive, the Immortal alive. Oh god! But the tank shots are too much. The Immortal goes down. And it looks like Oriana is breaking on through. We have 4 Stalkers waiting on the high ground. We have a Void Ray coming out as well. A shield battery on the way in the main. Killing the natural is not good enough. Oriana has to bust into the main base. And he knows that. I worry that he's taking too long. I worry that this natural is just taking up so much time. As the Void Ray has arrived, it's coming from behind. Oh, the repairs. The repairs. Just good enough to keep that tank alive. Viking comes out as well. Which will help against the Void Ray. Oh god, but more Stalkers are being warped in. Here we go, the tanks will siege, the overcharge. The second one of the engagement is going to be popped. The Void Ray comes in from behind. And as the SCVs are a little bit too busy attacking, it looks like the tanks will get picked off. Only 1 tank remains. Is 1 tank enough? I don't think so. Oh, the Stalkers, they're rushing on 4. They're going to be able to take down the final tank as well. At the cost of every Stalker, though. Uh-oh. Krystianer maybe are extending a little bit. Sure, he got the tank, but at what cost? GG. Oriana barely does break through, and he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. Just in time for Asher's raid, you know? Just for Asher, Poppy. Just for Asher. The one base tearing all in. Let's go.
Like a mud cake or something.
Gonna be getting into our next game. Oh my god. I was a little bit concerned there, but we do have WSS Game Heart. Thankfully. As we get into our next game. And Krystianer came into this as the favorite. Bear that in mind. He did come in as the favorite, and despite that, is now up against the wall, is on the cusp of getting knocked out of the entire tournament, and we'll see if he can hold on, because spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Gressvan, we have as opponent, we have the Chinese Terran representing Mystery Gaming, leading this series 1-0, 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. It is Oriana. I'm telling you, ever since Oriana name change, he's been popping off. He's been just getting so many good results, taking down some big names, having some deep runs in these tournaments. And are we going to see another? Are we going to see another? Hold on, I'm catching up in the stream. I'm catching up, Puffy. I'm catching up as Oriana is moving out with his first SCV. Is going to be avoiding the probe. Shout out to that upside down tuna. It's beautiful. I don't know what it is. It's something about this map. It's only on Gressvan where one of the logos is upside down. It's odd. But because the SCV was able to avoid that probe, we do have a bit of an eBay block. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. The eBay block is upon us. And it's going to get a lot of progress. Oh, boy. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be a bit much. Oh, God. As with that eBay, we are forced to take the unnatural natural. So already a great start here for Krystianer. The SCV wants to come back in, wants to rotate around, and maybe throw down a bunker. Yep, there we go. Bunker is thrown down. God, Oriana, he's such a bully. Bunker is thrown down in range of that mineral line to deny mining here and just to be a thorn in Krystianer's side. And it looks like the bunker will complete. People happy. God damn it. God damn it, Asher. As the bunker is going to be finishing up, the Reaper makes its way across the map as well. We do already have a shield battery on the way, so it looks like Krystianer was well prepared for this, and is whether this is a possibility after the initial eBay block. Reaper will dip into the main just to cause a little bit of havoc, cause some chaos. Oh, but how good is the SCV micro? Can he keep it alive? Oh my god, its probes are dying. I was not expecting that. 2 probes go down. But the Reaper is killed, and we will have to salvage this bunker. But at least we force some lost mine time here at the natural, and we also force a shield battery. Meanwhile, it's a 3 racks. We do have a 3 racks follow-up, and this is not going to be scattered by Krystianer. He does at least see the CC, so he knows it's not going to be a 1 base all-in. He has at least that going for him. What is it with these Chinese players and powering up after name changes? I mean, I think it's like a combination of things, right? It's like, oh, clearly it's the name change. I mean, what else could it be? the power of the name change, Papi. But I do think that, I know that there was, because of Oliveira's World Championship run, a lot of the Chinese players got like motivated. Not just motivated, but they were like filled with passion, you know, like they were so like emboldened by his performance, and they were all behind him, and it was a really big deal in China. And that's when the Chinese team started investing even harder into StarCraft, and as a result, a lot of these players like Moku, like Oriana, like Young Zest from yesterday, if you recall, aka Potato, they've all been really putting in the work, and they're putting in the time, and it's paying off. They're getting a lot of support. And it's really cool to see. Really cool to see. Oh. As we do have that 3 racks follow-up, Stim and Combat Shields are on the way. Oriana mustering up an army for his big push. Now, he is going up against a Twilight Council opener, to be fair, so there's going to be a lot of units on the ground. We do have a shield battery and that overcharge available as well. Looking at the scouting here, we haven't really been able to see too much, but Krystianer is getting ready nonetheless, and is soon going to be active on the map with his Blink Stalkers. Now, before that happens, as Blink is still on the way and the Prism is still on the way, Oriana's going to hit first. And as Oriana gets scouted, because he hits first, he's going to get some damage done. Solid scan there out of Oriana. He does spot the Observer. Krystianer knows his army is on the way, but he's going to be confirming that with his Probe Scout. He's going to be moving on now. Krystianer rotating over towards the right-hand side. Oof. Oriana trying to keep this hidden. Krystianer trying to figure out where the army is. But ideally, Blink Stalkers slow this down from across the map. Because it's already here, like, even though we're going to be forcing some stims, and even though Krystianer can kite this, he has limited room to work with, because he's going to kite this, to the mineral line, and then he can start focusing down some workers. And here we go. We do power on forward. The sentry is going to be going down. We avoid the overcharge. We avoid the shield battery, and we just stim straight into the main. Now this is a bold move. We go for the second stim into that mineral line as well. We're going to try and focus on whatever we can, but we are running out of steam. This is not going to be worth it. Only 3 probes go down at the same time. We have Marines and Marauders in the natural, but they only get another couple of workers as well. This was a lot of units invested by Oriana. 14 Marines, 5 Marauders, and he got 5 probes. Didn't get enough damage done. Unfortunately, Krystianer was ready for it. He saw it coming ahead of time and was able to shut it down. And now Krystianer has full map control. There are no tanks. There's only Marines and Marauders. And yeah, Krystianer can kind of have his way with this. Boys have to be pulled. The Stalkers are focusing down whatever Marauders they can as well. The blinks are too good, and Krystianer, he can just avoid this army. He can rotate over into the main and just blink there instead. See the chat. It's clearly it's only the name change. 100%, Bobby. 100%. As we have that blink into the main, and Oriana just doesn't have the numbers to defend both locations at once. Being pulled apart, 12 probes go down. Ugh. And Oriana's basically going to be forced all in. I say that Oriana's crazy. He's got a third CC on the way. Oh my god. But look at that worker count. There is no recovering from here. We only have Marauders left. Even if we scanned, we couldn't kill that observer. Ah. Krystianer just containing Oriana. Every turn. Getting fully saturated on these 3 bases. Getting a 4th behind this. Oriana just cannot keep up. As we get into this though, massive shout out to C Grail in the chat. Thank you so much, Papi. Thank you for the 100 bits. We appreciate this. We appreciate the support. We appreciate all of the donations that we do get here on this channel, as well as bits. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's thanks to you that we're able to support this tournament. We're able to fund it as well. It's a decent endeavor here for us here at the Cranky Ducklings. It's quite costly for us, but you know, we do get some support from the channel whenever we can, and we also get support from the patrons as well. We actually got a new patron last night. Let's go. Let's go. I think we're up to 13 or 14 patrons. We're getting there, Papa. We're getting there. We're reaching that goal. And speaking of reaching that goal, Krystianer, he's sending everything across the map now with the power of charge and immortals. Third base is landed. Marines are trading quite well after cleaning up all of these zealots, but we have a massive warp in into the main base. Everything is on fire. Marauder is doing well against the immortal stalker, don't get me wrong, but actually, I say that the army itself does actually clean up a lot of the gateway army of Krystianer. Suddenly, Krystianer's army supply plummets. And Oriana, he can maybe push out. As I say that, he's only moving out with a handful of units. Everything else is kept at home. And as this game goes on, Krystianer's army is just going to get larger and larger. Oriana, not so much. He still has a large force, don't get me wrong, but we'll see if he can make use of it, as once again the prism gets into the main. More zealots come out and more workers go down. Ugh. Medevacs getting sniped one after the other. Again, because of the massive economic lead that Krystianer has, he can afford to do this. Just constantly counterattacking, constantly harassing, keeping Oriana at bay. Oriana, he's got some cute moves here and there, but alas, he's not able to overcome just the constant waves of aggression coming out from Krystianer as he reinforces with some more zealots. And even though this gateway army is going to get cleaned up, are we being too wasteful? That's the question. I mean, Oriana, his army just isn't really dying. Like, these marauders are so beefy. I can feel it. Like, I can feel the urgency in Oriana. Like, he wants to push, he wants to move out, but these zealot run-bys, they just keep him at home. But here we go. We are breaking free. The boys are being pulled because they have to be pulled. And Oriana has a supply lead. Now, these zealots are going to wreak havoc once again, and he can't really do too much about this. Okay, he's got some reinforcements back at him. They will clean this up. Oriana has to focus on the main assault. There is no... there is splash damage. There are Archons that will change things. Ugh. Here we go. The mine shots are looking to go off, and oh, they get targeted onto the Archons. Let's go. But we have the overcharge. These mines don't really do too much damage. The SCVs were saved. Very nice micro out of Oriana. Able to pull them back and to preserve them. Here we go. We have another massive warp in of zealots. We do have a couple of mines behind this. Oof. Prism will go down. The overcharge runs out. Can Oriana pull this off? He's on the cusp. He's on the edge. He is almost breaking through. He picks up. He's going into the main. Bold move, Oriana. Bold move. The army is out of position, but the zealot warp-in is real. We have another sim. We're running out of energy on these medevacs. The medevacs, they have nothing left. Oh, as we pick up and we drop down into the natural once again. Oh my god, Krystianer's army is having a really hard time keeping up, but he has 3 immortals, my god. And a lot of charge lots. And again, we're out of energy. We can't heal up this army anymore. We need those mines. We need them, Papi. As Krystianer has caught up in army supply. He lost the base, but he had another behind this. Look at the vision of Oriana. He doesn't know. He doesn't know about the 3rd. He doesn't know about the 4th. Or even the 5th. Oriana was so all in with that push, and he almost broke through. He almost did it. I think the drop was a little bit unnecessary, I'll be honest. I think maybe going for the robo first would have been a wiser call. A couple of zealots are going to be going down. Krystianer now with the map control, now with an insane army. Without EMPs, these Archons are insane. Oh. Ghosts are on the way. We will have some EMPs available. We don't have any ghosts yet, though. Oriana fighting his heart out. Here we go. The Archons are pushing on forward. A couple of mine shots will be connecting with this army. The ghosts are not quite out yet. And the Zealots get into the mineral line. Oh, the SCVs. Oof. A lot of them are going to be going down. Recall will save 3 of those Zealots. Now Oriana has to go for another counterattack, or I imagine he does. Storm is going to finish up in a couple of seconds, and once again Storm changes everything. Krystianer, he's just one step ahead. No, he's got the Archon, which forces out the Ghost, but now he's got Storm, and that means that this army of Oriana just is not anywhere near as powerful. EMPs, of course, will be the spell that can change everything, but doesn't know. He's gonna be getting into a rude awakening as we have 3 high tempo in that prism. Oh, and the Storm is insane. It connects with almost the entire army of Oriana. Second Storm goes down. Oof. Oriana loses almost everything. He's got a couple of reinforcements coming in. We have 1 more Storm in the chamber for Krystianer. 1 more Storm remaining, and it will connect. Oh my god, and we stand in it as well. It's a tight hold, but the Zealots come in to reinforce, and Oriana will finally be broken. GG gets called, and Krystianer fights back and puts a point on the board. But boy, did he have to work for it. that was intense, Papi. That was intense. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, that first counter offensive from Oriana, not the 3-axe push, but afterwards, where he was like constantly dropping into the main, then bouncing back to the 3rd. God, it felt like he was almost able to break Krystianer then and there. Alas, wasn't quite aware of how many bases were mining from Krystianer, from our Protoss player, and he was a little bit in the dark as a result. But now getting into our next game. The ace match. Game number 3. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to 1 more game. Oh boy. Oriana fighting hard here. Like, again, he's more of an underdog. He's lesser known in the international scene. But to fight this hard and to force so much out of Krystianer here in all 3 of these games, it's impressive. Very impressive. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Oriana. Oh. Here we go. And yeah, we'll see kind of what comes from our next game. Oh boy. As we're going to be loading into the ace match here. Oriana has been very aggressive. Game 1, he went for a 1 base all in. Game 2, he went for an engineering bay into a 3 racks as well. The 3 racks itself kind of fell on its face, if you recall. It dealt some damage. He got, I think, 2 stalkers and like 5 probes, but that was nowhere near worth the investment from Oriana, which is why it was really impressive that he almost came back. It was really impressive that he was able to fight back as hard as he did, and to make it as close as it was. So I wonder what we get into, as Oriana in game 3 is going to go for a Rax expand. Economic opener coming out from Oriana this time. Standard play, Bobby. Standard play. Let's go. Catching up. I think the chat just ran into the storms as well. The storms were brutal, Papi. They were brutal. If it wasn't for those storms, then maybe Oriana could have been able to, maybe he could have pulled it off. Maybe he would have pulled it off. From here, though, again, we don't have a double gas opener. It is going to be more economic from Oriana. He's eventually going to get into his factory, into his starport, or factory production, into his following Raxes as well. Oriana does go for a bit of an SCV scout and even into a Reaper scout here. He's going to try to get eyes on things. For the time being, is going to be pushed away by this initial adept, as we see Krystianer going for that Stargate opener. So no Blink Stalkers this time out of Krystianer. Instead, is going to be relying on those Phoenixes for map control. And Oriana bypasses the initial adept, does rotate around, is going to try and go for another scout, but no, the second adept is here to meet him, and it looks like, ooh, Oriana may lose this Reaper. Up. Ooh, Reaper will go down without seeing anything. Meanwhile, that first adept is in the mineral line. It's going to be denying some mining here for quite some time until we have enough on the ground to clean this up. We've got 5 Marines and 5... Oh, never mind. Those are SCVs. We've got 3 Marines, and with the help of SCVs, they can maybe deal with this, but now we have a second adept joining the fray. Oof. We're going to try and push on forward here, but... Up! Up! Oh my god. We try to dance with the adepts. We shave off some of the shields, but it's not enough to quite overwhelm and overpower those adepts in the end. As the Marines push on forward, and it looks like with good target firing, there we go, 1 adept goes down, and the second adept is forced away. Meanwhile, my apologies, this isn't a Phoenix opener. It is a Stargate, but we're getting into Oracles instead. No, the Cyclone! Up! Oh my god. That was close. That Oracle almost found a mineral line, but alas, the Cyclone was able to rotate back in time. And Krystianer is switching from that first Oracle straight into Blink. So it is going to be Blink Stalkers a little bit later, but it is going to be a more economic variation. 3-gate Blink Stalkers into a 3rd base from Krystianer. So not overly aggressive, as we have Oriana setting up into the mid-game. We've got our 3 Raxes, we've got our 1 factory, our 1 starport as well. Everything's looking pretty normal here, and I'm looking forward to this. You know, again, despite the fact that Oriana went into game 2 behind after throwing away so many units, this time he's going to be able to get into the mid game in a relatively solid position. He's been able to keep his workers alive. He's been uninterrupted when it comes to his production. His opponent is being a little bit greedier and is going for a faster 3rd base, to be fair. So, you know, it's kind of better for both players in a way, macro-wise, but I want to see what Oriana can do with a more solid mid-game. Sorry, with a solid early game going into the mid-game. As the Stalkers of Krystianer are pushing out, we have this Oracle, so Krystianer can blink into the main. Yes, he does have high ground vision. Oriana, ooh, gonna be moving out with a double drop at the same time. Krystianer's gonna be pushing on in, and these add-ons are exposed. Ooh, Reactor is gonna be going down. Oriana doesn't have a lot at home to defend. He's got a Cyclone, he's got boys that he has to pull. Oof. Second add-on goes down on that factory. Cyclone doing what he can. Marauders do stim on forward. What I appreciate is that Oriana, unfazed with his double drop, did not turn back around, is committed. And what do we have at home to defend? We have Stalkers at the third. We do have a Warpin at the third base as well, but no Warpin here in the main. Uh-oh. The drop does get in. The Artosis pylon is going to go down. Oof. And we do force a recall. And these Marines are trading pretty damn well. The target by the focus fire on the probes. 6 probes go down. 3 Stalkers go down as well. The rest of the army is just rallied across the map. I think that was an all-army stim, but it's all good. As this drop in the main base is getting out of hand, the Marauder's going to be catching some of these reinforcements as well in between the bases. Eventually, this drop is going to get cleaned up. Looks like Oriana is running out of steam. Again, he did stim across the map, unfortunately. But he did do a lot of damage. Oh, but is it worth these medevacs? An unfortunate rally from Oriana. Looking at the units lost tab here. That's a lot of Marines. 22 Marines. We can afford to lose Marines. 22 Marines, 2 medevacs, and a Marauder for 9 workers and 5 Stalkers. Not a bad trade for Oriana, but I'm sure he was hoping to snowball and do a little bit more damage. Thankfully, behind this, he does have that third CC on the way, on location. Krystianer has eyes on this. He's going to be looking to force a cancel. Oriana attempting to get in position. Oh no, we can't afford to cancel this. He's in the middle of a drop. And we're going to have to force a cancel on the CC. It was almost done. We have a couple of mines to fall back to as well. The mine shots will go up on those zealots. And these Marauders will have their way with those Stalkers as well. But we have some reinforcing zealots coming in. And Krystianer, he is gaining ground. Oof. Behind this, that drop wasn't quite queued up accurately, and we have more zealots coming in. It looks like Krystianer is snowballing. The mines are going to reset in a couple of seconds. But they're not quite in position, and more Marauders get focused out. At the same time, we have the mine drop, but Krystianer has eyes on this, and he does defend. Both mines go down. Really rough moment here for Oriana. He's basically forced all in. He doesn't have a third base. He lost a lot of Marauders. 9 or 8 additional Marauders went down there. And the Marauders were the backbone of his army. Now Krystianer has so much momentum. He's racing across the map. Oriana restarts his third base. Solid mine shots going off. A little bit of friendly fire towards the end, unfortunately. As we blink on forward, and yeah, we just don't have enough on the ground. We don't have enough Marauders. Krystianer, the snowball is real. We do have a bunker. The bunker is being focused on as well. And it looks like Krystianer was the favorite for a reason. Oriana put on a really good show. He fought back so hard, even in this game as well, but GG gets called and Krystianer will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Oh. GG, well played, but mad props to Oriana because, mate, likewise, he was all over this as well. Things just very quickly snowballed when he lost his third base. Like, there was, from that moment, it's like, oh, like, suddenly he has no more longevity. He has nothing else going on, and, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Krystianer as he moves on to the grand finals. Oh, the timing. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate, but GG, well played. Krystianer does advance on to the grand finals where he's going to be waiting for the winner of Silky versus Mindle VK.